Good morning, everybody. This is Grant from State of the Spark, and I am super pumped you're here, or that we're here together, actually. Today, we've got a huge episode. Today is the NFT crypto episode. So many of you people are like, Grant, can we do coffee? Grant, can we chat? And we're going to be talking a lot more about this in our Discord, to our Patreon members, but I wanted to give you guys an overview of where this thing is at, what the crap actually is an NFT, and why would somebody in their right mind pay $680 million for a fantasy football card for the NFTs? We're going to be talking about that today. So I'm going to actually have other news that actually has to do with crypto and NFTs and what those things stinking are. But before that, my friends, you know what we're going to do. Morning cup of gratitude. We always start our day and we always start our shows together with a cup of gratitude. Man, you got to start with gratitude, because if you don't, if the markets are in the red or if something crazy's happening on Dateline, you never know how to feel. So we're going to start with gratitude today, just to usher in a beautiful day. What I'm grateful for is several things. Number one, I am super grateful for this recent trip we took to Cherokee, North Carolina, where we picked up this book. I picked up this book, God Has Read. One of the matriarchs there said, you got to pick up this book. And I did. And it's phenomenal. And it's changing my life. I also found out that in, I believe, the Eastern band of the Cherokee, they refer to sun and moon as Nuda. And I'm probably saying it wrong. It's N-U space D-A-H, Nuda. And it refers to the light that governs all things, that protects them at night and warms them during the day. And so I love learning new terms, because this term is also interwoven with God. And it's like in Spanish, when you learn Spanish and you say adios, and you realize that Dios means God, and it could be construed as a blessing, adios, to God with you, as you say hi to people or goodbye to people as they come or go. Terms like that in different cultures can really edify you and make you a true cosmopolitan, someone who is actually expanding their view. So that's what I'm grateful for this morning. What are you stinking grateful for this morning? I hope that it's something good. I hope it's something that's lifting you up. I hope that you're looking forward to your business. I know that yesterday we had a super tough day in our business, and we navigated it. It was very frustrating, but we gave ourselves grace to be human for a day, and we're waking up today with a brand new smile on. So what about you? What are you grateful for today? Don't you worry about NFTs. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses, but I'm here to educate you a little bit. Don't worry about what's going on in the stock market, man. These things go up and these things go down. When they go down, we get excited because there's opportunities for us to get into the markets. We love that. So what are you grateful for today? What are you holding on to that's lifting you up? Let us know in the comments below so I can celebrate with you. Hello. Let me celebrate with you so that we can actually lift our spirits up together. Now, let's talk about other news. Wait, I've got one other piece of cup of gratitude. What I'm really grateful for is, if you're just dropping by, please like, subscribe, or share the show with other people. Listen, I love taking the time I do to research the things I do, to share those with you, not just to spout off. But please, if you find it valuable, like, subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe. And really, if you know of a friend who's had questions that we're asking that day, or heck, any other, please let them know. I saw that, Patrick Thurman. Thanks so much, man. I really appreciate you this morning, man. It was recently Patrick Thurman's birthday, and he donated his birthday to an awesome cause. Go check out his Facebook profile to see how to donate. But like, subscribe, and share with a friend who might have had these questions. Listen, I've been covering crypto since 2016, 2017, when Chris McLaughlin and I put together the Smart Crypto Coach with Jamie Clemens. We had a good old time. We traveled to all the conferences and learned a ton. We're going to be covering a little bit of this because I know that this is the future, and I don't want you to miss out. So the other thing I'm grateful for is that we've launched our Discord. It's in a baby stage right now. This is where all of our conversation is going to go. For those who want that coaching, and those who want my trading alerts, and those who want to know what I'm doing with crypto, what I'm doing with real estate, how we're managing our business, and really how Marissa and I are redefining success and wealth for ourselves so we can enjoy life more while still leaving a legacy that matters to people. We're dumping all of that into our Patreon and into our Discord, so you see the link in the comments below. That's what I'm grateful for this morning as well. Let's talk about other news. News that should lift you up and make you a more valuable cosmopolitan. Let's talk about it. So yes, there is an NFT-based fantasy football card firm, which just raised, you guessed it, $680 million. Did you guess it? Did you really guess $680 million? So today's other news will have to do with NFTs as we set the stage to educate you briefly on crypto. This is like the 101 primer. If you know a little bit about this, you might learn a little something new. If you don't know anything about NFTs, this will kind of give you the intro. And listen, honestly, some of you just need to know what to ignore. There's a lot of FOMO going on, and I don't want you to have to give into FOMO. I don't want you to get sucked into that. So today's news, we're going to be covering NFTs so you can kind of get a view of how people are making money, but also how we're helping nonprofits with NFTs, because this is the future of, I'll say it, tech. This is the future of tech. Just how subscription SaaS model apps for desktop have revolutionized the way we work and our daily life, so will NFTs and a variety of those, which we'll get into in a second. But let's talk about for a moment how an NFT-based fantasy football company raised $680 million. French company, So Rare. It looks like, I saw that it was French and I wanted to say Sorare. But then I realized, that's Italian. What am I talking about? So Rare is a French company, and they have been selling fantasy digital NFT football cards in the form of non-fungible tokens for years now. They actually say that they have exchanged and sold nearly $150 million of these. Now, fun fact, every time one of those are traded, they also receive income. So they have an income model based on this, which we can get into a little bit later. So if you sold a Babe Ruth rookie baseball card and sold it to someone for whatever that's worth, imagine the original Topps baseball cards still getting a commission on that. That's what's going on with the Fantasy Football Card Club. They've added a new component, and that is these are smart contracts. So if you purchase one of these fantasy footballs cards, you can actually team up with your friends and put together a fantasy football league. So let's say you buy your favorite soccer or football player in the form of an NFT. It's a gorgeous 3D animated card. You might get stats about the person once you purchase the contract. It opens up, or purchase the piece of art. It opens up. You can see more details about it. You might get a few perks, a free seat in the stadium, something very real and tangible. But then you get with your friends and put your cards together. Basically, you take your wallet address, which is basically like your bank account number, put them together, and it creates a fantasy football team. And then that fantasy football team can play each other and win. So now there's secondary markets, like people betting on these teams and people putting in real money. So Rare actually has an income model, not only from selling these NFTs, but also from hosting the fantasy football leagues. Well, they just received a massive investment from a venture capital firm of $680 million. And venture capital money, this puts it at a $4 billion valuation. Why? Because venture capitalists can see the income model. Every time these cards are traded, picture this. After every fantasy football league, you're going to trade your quarterback with someone else's quarterback, or your running back with someone else's running back. Every time those are exchanged, there's a commission that kicks back because of the original smart contract. On top of that, there's new players every season. Every season, someone graduates college and joins a real league, and then these fantasy football leagues want to issue, guess what? An NFT for that new player. If you've got a new football player who's a young star at UF, and they issue a fantasy football card for this person, someone will pay 10 grand for that in Ethereum, and then they'll put that in their fantasy league, and now they'll be betting on that. Layers upon layers of money and money. So Rare says they have over 180 affiliations, and these are legit affiliations with soccer clubs and football clubs, and they have over 600,000 registered users. Some people are wondering, where's all the money in the stock market going? Where's all the new young professionals who have all this money? They're not putting it in the S&P 500. They're not putting it into the Dow. They're putting it into NFTs. I dropped a link there in the comments for you to check out. Let's see if it appeared over here. Let's put it over here. Boom. That's how you can actually learn more if you're into fantasy football leagues. If you like something like fantasy football and you want to introduce yourself to kind of what is going on with NFTs, what are these things? So Rare might be a good company for you to understand the value. And we'll talk about how gaming pioneers technology in just a quick second. So, in our other piece of other news about NFTs, how we're lifting up museums, empowering museums, and entering the nonprofit space with revolutionary NFTs. Let's talk about it. So, a Baton Rouge company has launched its first NFT marketplace for museums. You heard that right. The organization is called Pass It Down. And Pass It Down is a digital storytelling company. They've been a storytelling company for museums for a long time. And they really love the idea of passing down, if you can imagine the oral tradition of passing down stories of a culture. They pass down the story. So, this is the name of their company. And they do digital storytelling, capturing people's stories in a variety of ways. They have just launched the first online NFT marketplace for museums, archives, and other cultural institutions. Cherokee Nation could record a video of an old matriarch or patriarch telling the story of the origins of the world and how grandfather beaver and water beetle all kind of introduced us to what we know as the world and the firmament in the sky and the firmament in the land. They tell the story, they capture it on video. And in the past, they would have just made these videos available perhaps on a website, made these videos available to museums. We went through the Cherokee Museum, and there was a video of the storytelling of the white invasion of the Eastern Band of the Cherokee. That video is the sort of thing that Pass It On creates. But now on their NFT marketplace, anyone can purchase a variety of NFTs. I could start to pay homage to the Cherokee Nation or to the civil rights movement and put together a little haul, and I could go purchase an NFT and get that video or get that display piece or get that interactive kiosk, and the original creator will always get compensation for that. They're making this available to institutions, and they're making it affordable to institutions. And so they're entering the nonprofit space so you have more dynamic access to more while still compensating original creators. The Cherokee Nation could issue a ton of these. And museums around the world could say, you know what, we really want to feature Native Indigenous life. And so they make a small payment to pass it down and then obtain this NFT and put it in the Washington Museum of Natural History or the California Museum of Natural History. And then they can then display these pieces. And meanwhile, Cherokee Nation can still fund their schools, still fund their missing and murdered Indigenous women efforts, still fund anything else they're doing while still educating the world. This is an abundant-minded use of how NFTs are being done. The founder, his name is Chris Cummings. And he recently said every time an NFT is resold or traded, the institution that originally sold it receives a portion of the profit, generating long-term revenue. This is another way that this could be done. I mentioned the use case of Cherokee Nation to other museums, but what about museums being able to issue their own NFTs to pass holders? Imagine a season pass holder comes up and says, hey, I want to pay for an annual fee, and instead of a ticket for the season, they receive an NFT that has custom artwork. It's unique to them, so it's their own art piece. They could actually get a little display window like one of these, and actually have their NFT display because they might be proud of the art or the art might be of a local artist that they love. And then when they actually show up at the museum, they show that NFT on their phone. They show it to them, and they get access to the latest show, the latest art display, the latest museum display for free. A massive use case for NFTs. So this company, this Baton Rouge company called Pass It Down, is creating the underlying architecture, the underlying blockchain to empower people like the Cherokee or local small museums like our local museum, Polk Museum, to interact with their people in a whole new interactive way with unique artwork that they get themselves while still giving them tangible value that no one else has. If you want to read more about this, and I was thinking about reaching out to our local museum this morning. Let me put that right there. Boom, put that in the comments. So you now have that link in the comments, and you can see how people are using NFTs, as we just covered in other news, when it comes to fantasy football in a very useful way, and also in the nonprofit space, that empowering people who might not otherwise be heard in an affordable way to distribute their stories. Two really powerful stories. You can see in the thumbnail there, right there, Baton Rouge company launches first NFT marketplace for museums. Check that out. That's what's going on. There's a lot of money being moved and a lot of attention being put here. This is not a fad. This is you're literally able to watch the internet be born again, as a metaphor, in the form of watching the NFT marketplace the crypto space, which is more than just currency. Let's talk about it. And last but not least, as I mentioned earlier, I do want to just drop this in here. Boom. This is our Discord where we'll actually be covering more and more of, again, personal development, business development, cutting edge technology, what our experiments are in business, what our experiments are in crypto, what our experiments are in investing, and what our experiments are in living a fuller life. Drop that in the comments right there. Root, thanks for the love this morning. I hope you're doing great. So let's talk about what's going on with NFTs. We covered other news, and these were two pieces of other news. I'm just going to define terms for you this morning. Anytime you learn about a new thing, a new job, a new business, whatever it is, a new culture, you're always learning the vocab first. This is like grade school. Remember, every week you'd have new vocabulary terms. Let's expand your vocabulary. So today we're going to expand your vocabulary just a little bit to give you an introduction and then to tell you where to start. Why? Because if you're on our Discord, I'm going to be giving away our initial first wave NFTs to our Discord members only. And it's not all about tech. Grant's not only about tech, but I do this because we're going to be experimenting with NFTs in the personal development space, NFTs in the art space, and in the gaming space. And there's reasons for this. It's not just about making money. It's about learning about how these things stinking work. Because if you can learn how these things work at a gamified level, you can learn how a new technology will be working for a commercial level and how to integrate it into your normal daily life. So let's just talk about the vocab terms. So here we go. Let's talk about the NFT crypto episode so that you are oriented, you know what to ignore, you won't feel the same amount of FOMO that other people are trying to get you to feel, and you'll be empowered with what to Google next and where to start. Actually, today, where to start so that I can send you a free NFT. Let's talk about it. So first off, I want to give you a quick primer, the super quick primer on crypto so that we're oriented. Yes, we're talking about crypto, currencies? Why are people talking about it as crypto now instead of cryptocurrencies? We'll talk about that briefly. So wave one of crypto was cryptocurrencies when Bitcoin was first introduced and the massive amount of impact that that's had in the world. When other cryptocurrencies like Litecoin and Dogecoin and any other, forgive the term, it's a little early, but if you're listening, this is my first swear of the morning, other shit coins. Crap coins that don't have to do it. They're called meme coins, really. But some had very strong use cases, like Stellar with its XLM currency. Monero was an early cryptocurrency. And all of these, the only use was cross-border anonymous payments. When you think of wave one crypto, think of Silk Road, literally just currency. Wave two was smart contracts. This is when we started to see Ethereum really take hold. And now there's a whole wave of smart contract companies. Ethereum, Cardano, Tezos, Solara. Those are all projects worth looking into, and many more. Matic, Chainlink, Compound. All of these are known as smart contracts. I will not get into the details of smart contracts today. But as soon as smart contracts appeared, the average everyday user, I'm saying this right now, real estate and realtors are in for a run for their money as smart contracts take hold, and we are able to actually exchange property with very little need. In terms of personal public records, whether you're dealing with the sheriff's department or whatever, if you have a personal medical record, that could all be handled on smart contracts, and you are the only one who has access to the data. That's wave two, smart contracts. We are now in wave three. Wave three of cryptocurrency is known as was what I'm calling the smart explosion. So you might have had smart contracts. I started my own blockchain and I was teasing with it. I started my own coin over here and I wasn't really sure what to do with it. The smart explosion is the rise of NFTs, gaming to test the boundaries of the technology, smart business or small business experimentation. For example, Chipotle issuing an NFT. There's only one in the world and it's floating around, and whoever has it gets free Chipotle for life, and they can resell it. That's small business or business experimentation and early venture capital, and that's the phase we're in. Wave three, called the smart explosion. And it's very important to know, because a lot of people are still countering, well, crypto is stupid because no one's going to get off the US dollar. That argument is an outdated argument. If you say that, someone talking about crypto is going to just check out of the conversation entirely. Like, oh, okay, because that's your paradigm. That crypto is only currency. It's not. So when we talk about crypto, we're talking about the entire industry. So the terms are cryptocurrency, smart contracts, and smart contracts are the ability for a contract to execute automatically because the rules are set up in the blockchain. The example is if I sell you this pen and this pen goes, if I invent this pen and then I sell you this pen, you get the pen, you pay me money. But if you sell the pen, then I can still get money because a smart contract says I get residuals on the thing I create. That's one of many functions of a smart contract. And then the smart explosion is experimenting with how far we can take smart contracts. And I'm telling you, crypto developers on our outsourced communities like Upwork, which we use periodically, their hourly rate is often 10 times what the average hourly rate of a web developer is. Wave one, cryptocurrency. Wave two, smart contracts. Wave three, smart explosion. And the term crypto refers to the market at large. So we've talked a little bit about that. And then, of course, you need to know that there's several things going on in the world of NFTs. So I want to zero in on NFTs and the smart explosion. So first off, I want to make this note about the smart explosion, wave three of cryptocurrency. The smart explosion is simply this. In any field where someone is pioneering something, they often introduce gaming. And the reason is, it is through gaming and gamification that we learn the dynamics of how something works. Why is that? Because we create rules, we abide by the rules, we win or lose based on the rules, but we also break the rules. And it's in the breaking of the rules of a game, because the stakes are high and competitive, but not really high in a universal sense. No one's going to get, or few people are going to get shot for cheating at a game, especially in the game stage. And it's in the cheating and the hacking in the game stage that people actually begin to learn how far to take something. A good example of this is that as Ashton Kutcher and Mila, whatever her name is, launched their own NFT, they launched it on the Ethereum blockchain. And they were just trying to play with it, a game, and see how far they can take their celebrity, a game. And they quickly realized that the public gave them a lot of crap because of how unsustainable the Ethereum blockchain really is at the moment. So then comes along another artist, Doja Cat, and she launches her NFTs on the Tezos blockchain. Far more green, far more transactions per second, and her fans love it. This is a form of gamification. So I am talking about games, but I'm also talking about gamifying, making money. This is where all the speculation is happening. But let's actually talk about games for a second. Recently, a particular piece of crypto came out on the Ethereum marketplace known as OpenSea, like OpenOcean, but SEA, OpenSea. And this little square looked like this, came up and just had text on it, and it was called Loot. And they were selling for 150,000 US dollars. Why would someone spend 150,000 US dollars for a sticky note that looked like this with text down it as an NFT smart contract? Let's not guffaw and go, oh, who would do that? Elitists. No. You need to ask yourself in this intonation, I wonder why someone would do that, and increase your curiosity. As I looked into it, I realized that as we build decentralized apps, another vocab term for you, dApps, as we build decentralized apps, they're basically taking all the components of what we know as a centralized video game, breaking it apart into different components, and this was known as the Loot NFT. And it had a bunch of loot. If you've ever played a Mario game, or if you've ever played a shoot 'em up game, if you kill a character, all this little loot pops out. Well, that is known as a loot bag. And it's a little programmable piece of component. And quite often, big companies like Activision and Nintendo, they own loot. But in a decentralized marketplace like crypto, someone could make millions of dollars creating a blockchain on something called loot alone. When I say loot alone, when something called loot, they could make millions of dollars alone on this one single concept, building loot, because that loot can then get hooked into multiple games. If someone builds their own pony game, but they want loot every time the pony jumps over a fence, they could just hook right into this blockchain called the loot chain and it just display in their game automatically. And every time it displays, the creator gets money. Someone could then build another shoot 'em up game, another Call of Duty, but the cryptocurrency version. And they're playing, they think every time they kill a boss at a boss level, I want this loot to pop out. And they could hook into the loot chain. There will be millionaires made who are creating blockchains based on single components of video games as video games become decentralized. This is what the smart explosion is, and this is how gaming is expanding our use of cryptocurrency. And this is what an NFT is. An NFT is the particular piece of loot. It's custom, it's unique, it's the only one of its kind if they so choose to make that. You could make 10 of them and it's still rare. And this is what's going on. Do you ever remember trading baseball cards and you had a super rare Michael Jordan that only appeared once or twice or 10 times, but you had hundreds and hundreds of Jose Canseco? I got hundreds of Jose Canseco. One's rare, one's not so rare. So when it comes to non-fungible, don't just get narrow that it's the only one of its kind, but I see 10 of them. Don't get hung up on that. It can be the only one of its kind, or it could be a rare version, but the collectability, the psychology of collection is still in play. So an NFT is that one component that you can purchase for cheap or very expensive. Why would someone spend $150,000 on one of these? Well, because the owner of the blockchain starts to develop that blockchain and hook it into video games. If you could sit back and own a loot bag, you have it displayed as a silly piece of artwork on your wall. It just says text, but every time someone uses it, it spins off money. So what if you could own a piece of Call of Duty or Halo or Mario? What if you owned the turtle shell in Mario, and every time that turtle shell popped up, you got another dollar? If I had a dime for every time, you hear what people say? If you had a dime for every time a turtle shell appeared in Mario and you got paid, that's worth $150,000. I'd pay $150,000 for that right now. But what if that turtle shell could appear in Mario Kart, Street Fighter? What if it could appear across everywhere, and that thing that you invented? If I had a dime every time that turtle shell appeared in Call of Duty, Halo, any game available. And so now it's the inventor of the blockchain, the loot chain. It's the inventor of the loot chain's job to market their chain to other game developers so that you, who spent $150,000 on that piece of loot, now we're getting a return. And so the value of that, it's like owning title to this piece of digital property that's being traded around. And anytime that thing appears or is used or is interacted with, you could make a sugar ton of money. I happen to know right now, I don't know, Rut, if you're still watching, but Rut Patel is coming up with this design for a new drone that he's been using. And it looks like a B-10 bomber. It's a gorgeous looking drone. What if he just released that into the public for anyone to use for free? Quite often we think, no, I'm going to keep it and people have to give me money for it. That's fine. But what if patents could be issued by the creator like Rut Patel, and instead of hidden away in the U.S. Trademark and Patent Office in D.C., he releases it for free, but every time it's used, every time that drone goes up into space or in the sky, Rut gets paid. That is the power of NFTs. They're not all art. In fact, some of them won't ever appear visually in any way. They'll just be a little ledger address, and once you purchase it for X amount of dollars, it opens up. There's someone right now working on the USPTO coin or token. NFTs for patents. This is huge. So when we start to see that the world can go NFT, public records like the patents, your driver's license, identity chain, anyone with any sense who can start to create their own. Yes, we start with art and games, but we do that to learn how it works. And then we daydream about all the other ways. And I'm doing the same thing when it comes to personal development. How can someone own a Spark NFT and get real world value? That's what we're doing. Check out the Discord in the comments below. Join the Discord. Let me know you did that, because I will be releasing my first wave of Spark NFTs, Spark Embers, if you will, into the Discord first. Our members there who will be on our Patreon and our Discord will get those first. And we'll be experimenting with how to actually put personal development into an NFT. We're going to be checking that. So how do you get started? This is overwhelming, Grant. This is interesting. It's inspiring. How do you get started? Number one, quit beating around the bush. Open your Coinbase account. Download the app. Go to the website. Open your Coinbase account. Put money in it. Put $50 in it. I just sent $50 to a friend, James Joseph, because he had his Coinbase account, but he didn't fund it. You can't do anything if you don't put money in it. Put $50 into it and then verify your account. You just got to put in your driver's license or your social security. Yes, they report to the IRS. No, this is not Silk Road. Remember, we're not in wave one cryptocurrency where we're trying to do black market things. We're just trying to involve ourselves and understand how this works a little bit in a token way. Now, remind you, the steps I'm giving you will be the steps on how I can send you a free NFT. I'm going to be sending these for free to you guys. You're going to get access to my content eventually for free. So just head over to the Discord. When I launch the Patreon, you can do that, but we'll be releasing these NFTs in particular to you for free. The only way to do that is to follow these steps or steps like these. Get your Coinbase account going, put $50 in it, verify your account. Boom. Then go to a thing called MetaMask. MetaMask, M-E-T-A, metamask.com. Create your account there. You don't have to put any money in it. Create your account at metamask.com and then make sure that you have that address. Browse over to OpenSea and do the same thing, OPENSEA. Go to OpenSea.com and browse around. Now, what you'll notice is everything there is very expensive. That's where the NFTs are, is at OpenSea, especially the Ethereum-based NFTs. But they're expensive, and you don't want to necessarily spend a ton. I want you to go there to do your homework and do your research. Then I want you to jump over to another one that I really dig, and I think this is the future right here. Boom, Cardano. NFT.io, cnft.io. The reason I'm posting that one is this. Ethereum can only handle about 1,500 transactions a second. Ethereum currently is a power hog. Currently, it requires miners. Now, in late this year, they're going to go, I believe, to a proof of stake. And if they go to proof of stake, they can get way more green, and then they need to work on their speed issues. But Cardano can handle over 1 million transactions per second, which is crazy huge. Tezos is way up there as well. So if you basically what this simply means is if I send you Ethereum, as I did yesterday, I sent Ethereum to my friend James, and it took a solid 10 minutes for it to arrive, and we were insecure. Did he get it? Did he not get it? Cardano and Tezos and other more advanced cryptocurrencies or cryptos move a lot faster because their verification network just goes way quicker. So check that out. Number one, Coinbase, put $50 in it, verify your account. Number two, MetaMask, just open your account and have it. It ends up as a little Chrome. Basically what happens is it becomes your identity. Once you validate in anywhere you go, like OpenSea or anything else, it automatically connects your Ledger account, which is huge and a lot more convenient. Don't get hung up on these terms. Ledger just means it's like your bank account number. It's like your public bank account number because you have a private one and a public one. But the public one is so that people know how to give you money and send you free NFTs. I want you to do this so that once you have your Ledger and once we launch our Spark NFTs, I can just send them to you. And then you can look at them in places like Trust Wallet, places like MetaMask, places like OpenSea, where you can actually get the details inside, kind of like a Cracker Jack box. Free prize inside. CNFT is OpenSea, and then CNFT are the next two I want you to open. Just have an account there. Just open up an account, have it ready, because you can also peruse local art, buy a cheap one. Just purchase a cheap one. Now, here's the deal, though. The reason you put your $50 in Coinbase is this. You can't send $50 of cash to MetaMask, OpenSea, or CNFT. You need to trade it for something like Ethereum for MetaMask and OpenSea, or Cardano. Because if you send Ethereum to a Cardano address, you're going to lose it. Or Cardano to an Ethereum, it's just going to go away. But if you send Cardano to a Cardano address, it'll arrive. If you send Ethereum to an Ethereum address. So be careful. So if you have any questions and you need to be guided on how to actually move money from your Coinbase to some of these other places, do that. Reach out to us. Right now, the Discord is open and free. The link is in the comments below. Join the Discord, ask your questions. We'll talk about this. Once we launch the Patreon, some aspects of the Discord are actually going to get locked down for coaching reasons and stuff. We want to make sure that the Patreon people, the supporters, are really being treated well. But for now, the Discord is open and free. So jump over there, ask your questions. I'll put together guides. I'll answer your questions, get you up and running. So why do I care? Why does State of the Spark care about igniting lives of explosive significance? Why do we care about NFTs? Number one, it's going to massively disrupt nearly every corner of small business. Anyone who can issue an NFT with ease and knows what's going on will have a competitive advantage over those who don't. Any local museum who has NFTs will re-engage a new audience, a new generation of museum goers, and fund the museum, whereas the local museums who don't deal with NFTs, they'll see their money go away. Young money, people 30 and under who have been exposed to this at all, their money is going into crypto. You're going to see a huge cash drain. This is my prophecy right now. You're going to see a huge cash drain away from standard investments into the metaverse. In fact, there's another service called KuCoin. I'll drop the link in the comments. KuCoin has an entire area of trading called the metaverse. So wave 4, I mentioned wave 1, it's cryptocurrencies that we all saw, Bitcoin, Litecoin, those sorts of things. Wave 2 is smart contracts, Ethereum, and people like them like Cardano. Wave 3 is this smart explosion called NFT. Wave 4 will be the first stages of the metaverse. And this metaverse is going to disrupt. What can you ignore? You can ignore most of it. You'll get by. There will be a whole layer of society, but just plan on being a small business. And when I say small, I mean you and maybe a few employees. But if you want to grow and you want to engage a new audience who's conserving their money for the crypto space, because crypto is growing radically faster than anywhere else. This is like the age of the internet stocks. This is not trading advice, but I am putting my money in. In fact, you'll see my crypto trades in the Discord as well as the Patreon. People are putting, this is like the early days of people putting money after the internet bubble into Google because they realize this is the future. So what can you ignore? You can technically ignore this all. Eventually, they'll have user-friendly apps. Eventually, Coinbase is pretty user-friendly. But eventually, all this will be on your mobile phone already. But if you want to be cutting edge, if you still have game in you for growing your company, growing your business, growing your nonprofit, you need to enter this space. You need to enter this dialogue. This is the only reason I'm in. Not necessarily because I'm about tech, which you know I am, but I'm also about how this affects the human psychology. I, as a human interest person, as an anthropologist of the human mind, I continue to stay involved because this will shape how you think. This will shape your perceptions of time, your perceptions of self, your perceptions of wealth. That's why I'm involved. Consider me an anthropologist of technology and how it affects humans. That's what I do. And I'm just here to introduce you to it. So if you have more questions, visit us in the comments below. Visit us at our Discord. Watch for announcements of our Patreon. Listen, it's a big Wednesday. Hopefully you can replay this and get these terminologies going and see, okay, that's what's going on with crypto. I get it. If you have any other questions at all, you know what to do. Visit us at the Facebook Goals and Gratitude group. You could do that. Or visit us at the Discord, which we mentioned in the comments below while it's still open and free, for sure. If you want tools or training like this, visit us at stateofthespark.com or watch for our Patreon account. But no matter what you do today, no matter where you go or who you talk to, no matter what challenges you encounter, no matter what insights you gain, no matter who you see or what you do, remember the mission today. Igniting lives of explosive significance, starting with your own.